push to regulate farm pollution. But American agriculture has fought off pollution controls for 3 decades.
The whole agricultural community has remained maybe the last big or the biggest unregulated, largely unregulated area of water pollution. And it's why EPA tells you across the country agriculture is responsible for 60% or something like that of our water quality problems.
We are talking the equivalent of medium-sized cities in terms of the waste that is generated that is virtually untreated going into the Chesapeake Bay. And
So cities have their waste treated, go through water treatment plants. Farming, agriculture, these concentrated animal raising operations, they're not treated the same way.
that is absolutely correct.
The Delmarva poultry industry on the Bay's eastern shore doesn't see it that way. It contends that there's a fundamental difference between industrial pollution or urban sewage and agricultural waste. Industry spokesman Bill Satterfield. Shouldn't the poultry farms be subject to the same kind of limitations that sewage treatment plants or industrial plants?
A small industrial site that has to have a permit knows the source of what goes into that pipe. With non-point source pollution, there are various ways that nutrients can get into the groundwater and maybe flow through that pipe. Farm fields are
I'm
not.
not talking about fields, I'm talking about growers and sheds where, I've literally stood in front of farms and I've literally looked at chicken houses. I've seen pipes coming into the drainage ditches, coming from ditches between the chicken houses. The source visibly is quite clear.
To know where those nutrients came in would require an investigation. And if the pipe passed under a chicken house and started over here in a field, who's to say what entered that pipe on that end? Who's to say whether the nutrients, if there are any, came from chickens or fox or deer or birds or something else?
Russell Long, famous senator from Louisiana, used to say when people gave an answer like that, it's not you, it's not me, it's that guy behind the tree. It seems to me as though every time we get to this, even though the evidence is pointing to most highest concentrations right near agricultural poultry operations, you're saying, well, it could be the foxes or the geese.
If there were proof positive that those nutrients are from chickens, then we can accelerate our programs and do a better job. But we can't solve all the river's problems with all the people, all the growth, all the other animals on the back of the chicken and the poultry farmers.
I'll be the first one to say, I did it. I've said this before, we're all part of it. And yes, I think agriculture is a big contributor to the pollution, to the runoff into the Chesapeake Bay. The industry knows it.
So
What
y'all
I
hear
am
that?
tired of is
Y'all hear that?
everyone wasting all their time and energy and saying, I didn't do it. I did it. Why can't they admit it? I mean, let's all say, okay, we're a part of it. Now let's find an answer.
All in favor of adopting a conference committee report?
You hear that?
Saying aye.